So what's like your dream role?
I want to play that untold story of this prolific black man in the 70s who didn't really get the right shine of light.
We were talking before we got on the segment of you possibly moving.
Yes, possibly, maybe. A lot of people say you need to find a mentor, find a mentor, find a mentor. Well, what happens when the mentors say no?
Welcome to another episode of Live the Grace Life. I'm your host, Corey Holman, and today we have a special guest, and this guy is awesome. He's phenomenal. He's becoming a good brother. And so before we get started, I want to make sure that you all pick up a copy of my new book, Marketing That Matters. It's hitting Amazon literally right now. You can buy it. Or go to coreyholman.org and get yourself a copy. This is a book that is great for entrepreneurs who want to experience growth and success with proven strategies and methods to market your business. So go get Marketing That Matters at on Amazon or coreyholman.org. All right, so let's get into this episode. I'm so excited. We have Warren Burke from Los Angeles. What's up, sir?
What's up, man? We're here.
We are here.
You're doing a podcast. I'm on it. You got a camera there. We got a camera there. We got a camera there. We got people behind the camera. This is a full production. I'm happy to be a part of it.
So you're in Albany, Georgia.
Yeah, I'm in Albany right now.
How does that feel?
It feels great, dude. It feels really good. You know, I've been in Los Angeles, California for the last 15 years pursuing this career of mine, which is an acting career, crazy enough. Yeah. And in the realm of in the entertainment industry, LA is kind of synonymous to it. So for me to be here in Albany, it feels like a perfect break from the hustle and bustle. It may be palm trees. It may be beautiful weather. It may be, I know you're married, but beautiful women as well, okay? However, it is a great break from it all. Just to be here, Southern living, Southern hospitality, people saying, yes, hey, how you doing?
Yes, ma'am.
What's gonna be? Yes, ma'am, no, sir.
Yeah.
And let me help you with that. I'm loving it, man. Albany's great.
So for those that don't know Warren, he has been featured as Uncle Danny in Family Reunion on Netflix.
That's correct.
It's a great show. I promise you. It reminded me of, for those who used to watch Family Matters, like that old Southern type of feel, family oriented, and bringing that to Netflix I thought was just beneficial. But he was on that episode and many different episodes of Family Reunion. Also a sergeant in, what's the movie
Dead
again?
for a Dollar.
Dead for a Dollar? Where
yeah.
can they find that movie?
That's on Amazon currently right now. You can see Dead for a Dollar. It's a wonderful Western featuring Christoph Waltz, Willem Dafoe. Christoph Waltz is in Django Unchained. Willem Dafoe is the Green Goblin in Spider-Man. And Rachel Bronsonhan, who is his Mrs. Marvelous Maisel, which is also on Amazon, and myself as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's four,
That's exciting.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Listen.
I feel excitement. Thanks, bro. I'm excited too.
So what's like your dream role? Like let's dive into that.
Great question. What's my dream role? Well, number one, but no matter what the role is, I really want there to be not only a role that I can contribute a slice of life, of what I like to say, an opportunity to portray a certain character. From its core. I'm a huge fan of human beings and psychology. Certain people like, plants, or certain people like, cars. Mine is humans. I love humans and loving, especially in this realm that I'm in, to dive deep into the psyche of a different person than myself. So at its core, to beautifully and lovingly dive into that slice of life while also having an element of creative control. A lot of people think that when you become an actor, I can do whatever and say whatever. No, you can't. You have to say these lines. So moving forward, as far as the dream role, I would love some element of, when you see, for example, Issa Rae is an executive producer on the show. She has a say-so of how this is going to roll and how her role is going to be displayed, and several other artists do the same thing. So one is to have creative control, but to actually put a label on it, Bro, I want to play Teddy Pendergrass.
Oh, wow.
I do.
Wow.
I want to play that untold story of this prolific black man in the 70s who didn't really get the right shine of light. Now, if you look at the press, Lee Daniels has acquired those rights. I think he tapped Tyrese to play that role, and for some odd reason, I guess friction with the family wasn't able to come about. But if it were up to me, man, I would love an element to play Teddy Pendergrass. I mentioned that because I was a little sad because I was like, oh man, Tyrese got it and Lee Daniels and well, that's over. But then I thought about like how many Michael Jackson movies have there been? There have been a great Michael Jackson, but there have been several other Michael Jackson movies and several other, Whitney Houston movies as well. So I really hope, I pray in this beautiful time spent in my 30s that I get the beautiful chance of playing Teddy Pendergrass. I would love
y'all hear it now. So you got somebody that wants to play the role now. Just contact Warren, all right? All right, so what got you into acting? Like, let's start from the beginning. Like, were you always into acting, even as, in high school, middle school?
Yeah, that's a great question, man. What got me into acting is, when you get into an industry that you weren't planning on getting into, me, myself, went to Tennessee State University, got my bachelor's in business and administration with a concentration in marketing.
Wow.
And so I know, it's crazy. For me to have done that entire matriculation and not think anything about theater. Before then I was guardsman number 4 in the Three Musketeers in 10th grade. And because of my role in that, my acting teacher at the time, she said, you need to come back next year and try out for the main play, for a lead. Yeah. And sure enough, my father wanted me to switch schools, and it's a whole thing. We've done a lot of therapy, all is well. But I didn't really get to really invest time and energy into this craft. Yeah. But now that I'm in it, I can trace my dots backwards and see little nuances that really propelled me into the role that I am today. I remember seeing, and I'm so happy that you mentioned Family Matters, because one of the most vivid memories that I have is when television was television, and we all had to sit around that TV and talk or wait for the television show to come on. We had to wait for the television show to come on.
No Netflix, no Amazon Prime.
No on demand, no streaming. We had to wait for the show to come on. And when Family Matters came on, my mother, my sisters, my grandma, my great-grandmother at the time who was living, we all watched that show. And I would watch this young black boy totally transform the emotional state of my family. Like, how did this little black boy saying, did I do that? How did he do that? And he doesn't even know them. Yeah. So that's when my eyes first got there. And then I saw the Oscar Mayer Wiener commercial. I was like, oh my God, I can do that. I can do that. Hey mom, which is what I did. Hey mom, how do I become a commercial, get on that commercial? Yeah. And she's like, oh my gosh, she kind of dismissed it or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess, well, I shouldn't worry about it then. And then here we go to Three Musketeers years and years later. And I did that and got this validation from this woman, but never thought too much of it to continue on. It wasn't until I graduated from college and I started my corporate job that I was working at the Des Moines Register in Des Moines, Iowa. Crazy enough, Des Moines, Iowa, out of all places. Yes, I was one of 7 black people in the entire city.
Oh, in the whole state?
In the whole state. But while I was there, it was the first time my awareness was heightened as to who I am and how I present myself to this world. Because I'm no longer under my parents' roof. I'm no longer in this bubble that is college. I'm now on my own. And while I was here in this corporate setting, I'm noticing how people are saying, man, Warren, you're just so extra. You're so animated. You're so enthusiastic. So this, so much. Like, why do people keep saying that I'm so this, so this, so this? Another example was one of my favorite shows was The Office. I love The Office. And I remember watching the show. And if you know the characters, there's Jim and Pam. They're one of the characters, 2 of the characters. And I would say, man, it'd be so funny if Jim and Pam ended up doing X, Y, Z. And then it would happen. It's a brand new episode that I didn't even see coming. Brand new episode. And then they did the thing that I was like saying. I was like, wow, how did I know that? And it was just this element and this energy of my love for film, my love for television, how into it I was, how I was so entranced, and how people were able to become these characters even though they were totally different, and looking up to people, who I really genuinely love, like from Denzel Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio, to Johnny Depp.
Have you met Denzel?
I have. Wow. I shook his hand one time.
How was that experience?
Oh my gosh, 2011, I'll never forget. Wow. He was on that movie with Chris Pine and him. He's on a train. I think it's Unbreakable or something like that. I somehow, some way was able to score a
Listen,
spot on the red
that was a
carpet.
score.
And then I was waiting there. He was coming down and he was shaking people's hand. He shook my hand and I just looked at my hand like, whoa, I just shook Denzel Washington's hand. I'll never forget it. So
I would do the
He got
same.
some soft hands, bro. He got some soft hands. You think of Denzel training day and, Pelican Bay? Like, no, soft hands, soft moisturized hands.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, it's the truth.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
All right, so I was going to ask you that. What are some of your mentors? But it sounds like Denzel, obviously.
Can I talk about that?
Yeah,
Let's
sure.
talk about mentors. A lot of people ask me this question in regards to the entertainment industry. The thing about mentors, a lot of people say you need to find a mentor, find a mentor, find a mentor. Well, Corey, what happens when the mentors say no?
Oh, wow.
What happens then? I'll never forget, and I'm gonna keep saying this loud and clear. I got really close, and at least I was in the same vicinity, in the same circles of Keegan Michael Key, as we know, Key and Peele. And man, with him being from Detroit, me being from Chicago, him going into improv comedy for Second City, me going into the Groundlings, which is an improv theater in Los Angeles, California, him doing well in comedy, me doing well in comedy, then him switching over to drama. And I'm like, me then switching over to drama. I thought he was just the perfect person who would be the excellent mentor. I mean, as far as for me to, thrive and understand this business. Sure enough, we were at Soho House in Los Angeles, California. We went to this event. It was actually The Dolomite Is My Name, featuring Eddie Murphy. It was a premiere of that. And this was probably like the official time. I was ready. I got up, mustered up the courage. He was talking to somebody. I was like, hi, Mr. Keegan. How's it going? Warren, I don't know if you remember me. I was actually on Key and Peele. I was in like 2 episodes. It was a noise sketch and some other sketch where they were like, where he plays Megan. It's like, hey, Megan, or something. Him and, Jordan or whatever. They did this thing. But I was in the sketch and he remembered. He remembers like, yeah, you were the fork. I was like, oh my God, yeah, you remembered it. And then like improv at Groundling's like, yeah, I remembered everything. Like, yeah, listen, man. Oh my God, I'm glad you remember. Dude, I think you would be an excellent fit for me to be a mentee. I think you're perfect. Oh, wow. This is this and that and that. And he just looked me in that dead eye. He was like, I am not the one to do that for you. And I was like, oh, wait, I'm sorry. This is not how this is supposed to go. You reach out to somebody, they see an element of themselves when they were younger, when they were on the journey to where they are today. And he said no. And I was really hurt by that. But what it made me to re-identify is to understand, why do you need a mentor? Yeah. I know that's so minuscule and so elementary, but like, understanding that reason of why you need someone who may be quote unquote higher or more further ahead really brought me into a space of like, oh, really identify, what is it? Do you just want the companionship? Do you want the friendship? Do you just want the relationship? Because for what? For why? For, whether it's as shallow as can be. I want you to make me famous. I want you to, submit me to your agent, put me in your film or whatever the case may be. At least you have reasons. I was just saying mentor. If I needed help, that I could always call you. Yeah. At any time. But it seemed as though that I was, the divine, the spiritual element of it all was leading me to a path where I had to be a little bit more specific with the people that I'm bringing into my life. So I think that was very helpful and it allows me to be a much better mentor.
And that's what I was going to say.
When I talk to others, yeah.
I mean, because I can identify with that with certain areas of my life, wanting mentors, like I always thought it could be in one person.
Yeah.
And I began to realize that it couldn't be in one person. I had to take a piece of this from this person, a piece from this person, whether it's I look up to your marriage or I look up to how you lead as a man. And so I had to realize that too. But I think the thing is that, like you said, yes, we have those moments. It is painful and it's discouraging and it's disappointing because I don't know if it's like we over romanticize it in our brain of how it could actually go or how it would look. Yeah. But I think the thing is knowing how I felt in that moment and how I want others to feel going forward. And because you have experienced this, you've had levels of success, you've had moments where you can go in and how can you help someone else? And I know that the industry is hard. Ooh. I have family members that have been in it 20 years, and the traction has been hard for them.
Yeah.
And so knowing, because how long you been doing this?
15 years.
15 years. So you've had some success. You've had some open doors. God has blessed you.
Yes.
You know,
Truly,
and I know
yes.
there's more to come.
Oh, yeah.
So you got some upcoming roles that you got.
Yeah. What's upcoming is there's this show. It's called Jury Duty, and Jury Duty is currently on Amazon right now. Well, I'm in the second season of Jury Duty. Now, this is the first, what we're hearing, it will not be called Jury Duty, but it is going to be the second season of it. Not to give too much away, but it is totally different. And just to give you a little gist of what Jury Duty was, it was this guy, this very real person, no different than you and the other individuals behind this camera, a very real person who's not an actor, wakes up and is notified that he has jury duty. Well, he shows up to the courthouse, and to what he doesn't know is that the other jurors, the bailiff, the lawyers, and the judge, and the janitor, and every single person that he sees around him, they are all actors. And he is the only real person on this live, immersive theater play that he has no clue about. And, hopefully, if you ever watch it, there's a huge reward that he gets in for putting up with all of the shenanigans and craziness of this. And so we are in the second season of this. I'm going to be participating in it. It should be out in fall of 2025. Awesome. And it was a wild ride, but I'm really excited to see how it comes together. It's going to be fun.
We were talking before we got on the segment of you possibly moving.
Yes, possibly, maybe.
So I don't know. You let me know.
Listen, dude. Anything that you invest time, money, and energy to, when you separate from it, a lot of times we see it in romantic relationships. A lot of times we see it in friendships or any type of relationship, so to speak. When you want to leave it, it's not as easy. It's not as it's not easy at all. But for me personally, I really am ready to kind of exercise this notion of what it means to be maybe bi-coastal. I really do love my career. I do love the upward trajectory of my career. Yet at the same time, I feel, and I've compared LA to this several times, that LA, those Amazon campuses, those Google campuses in Silicon Valley, that you got everything. All you can eat food. A great place to say that I work at quote unquote Google, or, they even sometimes have shuttles that'll pick you up for free and bring you to work and they'll take you right back after. A fitness facility will be on there, even a bed and a meditation room and all these events at work. But here's the thing, at the end of the day, you are still at work. And to be honest with you, that's a perfect analogy of how it's felt with LA. I felt like no matter what, no matter the infinite potential, because it is infinite, there is no glass ceiling in the second largest city in America, that is Los Angeles, California. You can keep going and going and going. If you want to be a florist, you will be the best florist. You want to be an actor, you'll be the best actor. You want to be a jeweler, you'll be the best jeweler in this town. At the end of the day, you got to know that you are still at work. For me personally. So now, with it being 15 years, I'm on the track to identifying what is home. Where's my soul at? I'm single. I don't have any children. And for me to be at the age that I am in my 30s, I really do feel that it's a beautiful time to kind of exercise that and venture out to see not only how can I do this by coastal life, by traveling to and from LA, and, because now, ever since COVID happened, a lot of auditions are all self-taped. So really can just be about anywhere, which you've helped me, thankfully enough, with a few auditions. But also I would love to, who's my tribe? Who's my partner? Who's my community? Who are my people that I know will always have my back, whether I'm an actor or a pilot, a writer, a janitor, street sweeper, doesn't matter. Who are my people? So I'm on that new transitional process of my life.
So finding communities where you're at.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that. I think as life transitions is important. Like you need to know at the end of the day who has your back.
Yes.
Because you have people who will come when things seem to be high.
That's true.
But when I'm low, Where you at?
Where you at?
Where you at?
Where
now?
you at? It's all cool. And I remember Dead for a Dollar when it came out, man. I was hot. I was hot. People were all around me, and as slowly as the buzz died away, slowly but surely, they fade away. And dude, I don't even think people, because I used to call them fake. I used to be like, oh, you're phony and not real and artificial, but I don't think that's the case. I think, again, human beings.
It's human nature, and I think the thing is, I don't judge people based on that.
Right.
I realize that people come. Tyler Perry says this: people come into your life for a reason and a season.
Okay.
When he's in his deep conversations. But it's the reality, and you have to understand who comes for what reason. And I realize you can have a bunch of people around you, but there's only a few. You can probably count them on your hand how many really got your back.
Yeah.
And you'll know it. And I think the thing is that I realize is, and I used to say this a lot because I struggle with this, if I want to be, and I have to become what I want others to be in my life.
One more time, say that again.
I have to become what I'm looking for others to be. So if I'm wanting to have community, do I cultivate a community around me?
Yeah.
Do people feel authentic enough to be themselves, where they don't have to show up and whatever they think I got going on? Because you have those moments. I remember I was talking to this lady. She was a superintendent. Everybody was trying to contact her. The moment she got off the scene, her phone was dry.
Oh.
It was dry.
Wow.
Because she's no longer in a position. She's no longer in what you would call in the seat of authority.
Right.
They ain't contacting her no more.
Right.
So those things happen, and it's having to have that balance of the emotional, the mental, all those things of how do I navigate this and who's really with me.
Period. Right. I love that, and I love that you mentioned the. Some people are in your life for a reason, some people in for a season, because going back on the question about mentorship, I have genuinely felt like I've had even though that situation didn't happen correctly with Keegan or to what I wanted to have happen, I do feel as though that I've had seasonal angels to take care of me in that season. So I may not have gotten the big what I thought, in this case, let's just call him the Wizard of Oz. I maybe didn't get the Wizard of Oz, but when I look to my left and I look to my right, I see the Scarecrow. I see my Tin Man of the people who were on this journey with me together, also kind of making sure that they can help me and intertwine with their own knowledge and their own experience into getting me where I need to go. So I do agree.
So I'm going to ask you this, and this may get a little personal.
Go ahead.
So I want you to dive in, because I know acting and being an actor is not what people often think. There is a lot of struggles that come with it. I mean, it can be financially, it can be personally, trying to get the roles, all these things like building the reputation, building the relationships. And I know we have a short time, but what was that like in these last 15 years? Like, honestly.
Well, I'll put it down into numbers. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And for every success that you ever seen me do, and you total that all up, times that by 5, and that is how many no's that I have gotten. That's how much rejection I've gotten, and that's me being nice. I don't even really know the real number, but I know it's around there, if not a little bit more. There's an element of callous that you have to have for rejection. And not only that, but being an actor, especially in my earlier days, this was a tough lesson to get. Warren Burke, who I am just sitting here talking with you, versus Warren Burke, the actor, those are two different things. That is my product. Warren Burke, the actor, is my product. So if someone doesn't want, for example, mustard from Heinz, is like, okay, somebody don't want mustard. Somebody don't, Warren Burke, the actor, Warren, who I'm myself, Warren, can't get upset that somebody doesn't want Warren Burke, the actor. I used to personalize it, something about me, my talent, what am I doing wrong, yada, 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 because I'll tell you, man, what's worse than hearing no is hearing nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just getting ghosted by this thing that you prepped for and you were salivating for this role, and let alone the monetary value of how this can shift and change your life. You just kind of have to be grounded at all times and be ready for this. But also, here's the second thing. Also take an extraordinary approach of love for yourself. Really finding ways to take this self-care to another level. It's no more like, oh, let me just get a massage here and there, get my nails done. Like, no, prioritizing loving on yourself. Because
dive into that.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Me personally, I'm a huge fan of meditation, and a huge fan of meditation, a huge fan of small goals. I never be like, I'm not the guy who I got to meditate 5 days a week. No, too egregious. I just want to meditate 10 minutes, twice this week. 10 minutes twice this week. Surely enough, I'm going to, once I'm in the 10 minute, I'm like, oh, I can go a little bit longer, like maybe 10 more minutes. Oh, I did already twice this week. Sure, I can go one more day. And what always comes out is, oh, wow, I've meditated 5 times this week because of these small goals. No different with the gym. I love fitness. I think fitness has come into my life at a point of really allowing me that it's more than just muscles. It's more than just, trying to get the 6-pack for summertime. It is all about really, and it's not even mental. It's putting yourself willingly in a position where you are meeting resistance. Where you are meeting resistance. I think we all need it because life is already going on life. You think in 2020 we all saw that COVID-19 would be as resistant to our health and to our families, to our relationships, to our careers like it was? No, but if you were in a space of lovingly putting yourself in this realm of resistance, it wouldn't have hit so hard. So those elements of meditating, working out, making sure at least once a week I am specifically doing something I love to do. Currently right now that's pickleball, which is really fun. I love pickleball. It's really cool, tapping into the competitive element of myself. And then lastly, each quarter, all 4 quarters, I make sure to schedule one weekend of a personal retreat.
Wow. I say the same thing.
Do you?
I say the exact same thing.
We're here.
I say it every time because entrepreneurs are always like, well, how do you avoid burnout? I have to figure out something every quarter.
Now, here's a question, because if you don't mind me saying,
go ahead.
Know you're a family man, know you're married, know you have a child. On these retreats for yourself, do you go away by yourself or do you bring them with you?
Well, see, I have to bring my family with me. Why? And the reason why, because if I leave my wife, she's going to be mad. So,
I wonder that, that work-life balance,
because that's her love language. Traveling and eating are her love languages. So if I left her, the house would be in uproar. Because that's the time for her. But what I do is, this is how I do it. So if it's a full week, that first 2 days, I'm detoxing whatever frustrated, whatever disappointments I've had, whatever stress I've had, whatever is in Albany, Georgia, those 2 days, because it takes me about 2 days to process all of those conversations. Because every day I'm listening to people. By that 3rd day, I'm fresh. I have a fresh mind. And I'll tell you this, Warren. We went, March was our first quarter. We went to we got an Airbnb in Florida. Can't remember the city name, but it was not a well-known city.
Even better.
But it was a nice place. We rented all of it. And so by that 3rd day, I was praying, what's next? Where are we going next? And you're standing and sitting in what's next.
What was next? Get out. So when did you have this retreat?
This was in March.
Wow.
I prayed and I said, God, all right,
I got chills.
What's going next? So every time I go on a retreat or go on any type of break, that's what I do.
Wow.
So I know, because it's the only time I can actually get away and actually think creatively in a larger scale. And so I didn't even know this place was in existence. So those that don't know, this is Innovate Hub right now in a podcast studio with Warren. But this was something that was in my vision. I just forgot. And Warren, I know you have things, and I'm a person that, and we can probably dive into this later, but I write goals down in my notes. And it could be 5 years ago, 4 years ago. Well, I had wrote this in 2022. And I explained in there every detail of the building. I'm standing in every detail of the building. I said 10 office spaces. There's 10 office spaces in this building.
Shut up.
2 podcast rooms. There's 2 podcast rooms in this building. Photography studio. We have a photography studio. And I said a workshop space, which we have upstairs.
Wow.
Conference rooms. And then the other thing was, it was one other thing. I can't remember the other thing. But all of those things are in this space. No clue that this was already in existence. I just had to come in. But the point of what I'm saying is rest. You have to have those moments of rest.
Come on.
And when you do, be intentional on detoxing what happened. Because I had disappointment. Like I've had, and I know we're kind of wrapping this up, but I had a lot of disappointment before the year began. So I had to detox all of that,
of course,
to prepare for what was next.
You had to let some stuff go. to bring in this new person?
People, things, roles, situations.
Wow.
And the birth of my child.
Oh,
All of that.
Oh my God. Wow.
But I'm saying all that to say we're standing in something because the power of rest. We're going to have a part 2.
I'm with it.
All right.
I'm with it. Yeah.
A part 2.
This is great.
I got to wrap this up.
I know. This is fun.
But I'm really excited because Warren shared some really good information. Check out some of his upcoming work, Jury Duty. I know that's not the name, but it's going to shift.
2.
Jury Duty 2, it'll be on Netflix. Amazon.
There you go.
Amazon, fall 2025. You all can check out his work. Follow him on social media. What's your
Warren S.L. Burke across all mediums. Warren S.L. Burke.
All right, you got it. We'll put it on the screen. For those that don't know, this is Live the Grace Life. Make sure you subscribe on to this channel. Make sure all platforms, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, all of them, subscribe. And if, again, one last shameless plug, make sure you check out this book on Amazon, Marketing That Matters. I promise you, these are proven methods and strategies for you to take your business to the next level. Thank you again. Thank you, Warren.
Thank you. You've been awesome.
Appreciate it, sir.
Of course. Yeah.
We'll have him back again. Thank you for joining us for Live the Grace Life. Y'all be blessed.
Peace.